open-wheelers, old trucks and small-ish cars in our news right here, right now. Greetings wromies and welcome to Rom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to a regular news roundup, our weekly sim racing news. Welcome to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. There's still a little bit of weekend left and you may want to check out F1 Registered Manager 2022 as they have a free weekend. On the other hand, if you want a motorsport management game that will keep you occupied for a while, rather get Motorsport Manager. Cheaper and longer lasting also because it supports mods through the Steam Workshop. As it often happens, Studio 397 dropped a hotfix for their Q1 2023 release during the week with numerous corrections to the track limits and some graphics issues, as well as some polish to the competition system. One nice add to the UI is a button to install missing content when in the server join page, so you can directly correct any issue of missing content. Good thinking. And yet another small update from Race Room, this one being very small, fixing the HUD track map in Paul Ricard and doing some graphics changes in Spa. Miracles do happen, it seems, as at last Dakar Desert Rally supports most wheel systems, the wheel systems you see on screen specifically, and those it may not support directly, it tries to do so via a wizard. Also, you can now at last configure your field of view to accommodate whatever combination of monitor and viewing distance you have, which prompted the Dakar Desert Rally forums to start discussing FOVs like we sim racers have done for the last 10 years. Also, the cockpit view will now show the wheel in the cockpit at the same rotational level as your own wheel. Also, Dakar Desert Rally released a new DLC with trucks of SnowRunner, so you can, if you utterly feel the need, race those trucks in the rally. While we kinda see why they would do that, but only squinting our eyes and looking from the side, we don't think this DLC makes a lot of sense other than from a manager point of view. Hey, we already have the design of those trucks, let's copy and paste it and copy and paste some physics into them and then sell it for $10 after work worth 5 has been done on them. Anyway, if you think you would enjoy this kind of thing, go for it. Also, it brought new stages and events. Unluckily, I didn't have time this last week to set up and test my DD wheel, but I am very much looking forward to it and to drive some more Dakar Desert Rally. Let's see if now the game can fulfill its promise. The details of the update and DLCs are, as always, in the description of this video. Not only is Kenworth celebrating their 100th anniversary, but they have been supportive of American Truck Simulator since 2016. Therefore, it's no surprise SCS have converted the special anniversary edition of the Kenworth W900 for American Truck Simulator with all the interior and exterior specials of the truck. And as they were already working on Kenworth material, they gave their content a hefty remodeling, including the introduction into the game of new options, parts and accessories you can add to your Kenworth truck. New cabins, new chassis, new design for cabins, liftable axles, new fuel tanks and many other technical and graphical details to modernize the Kenworth trucks available in the game. All included in the American Truck Simulator to be paid with in-game money. While modern Indycar has never raced in Cleveland, the magic of sim racing makes it possible to have Dallara IR18 Indycars driving in what normally was the Burke Lakefront Airport and once a year got converted into the Cleveland GP for a weekend. Which is what the ASRC are doing today, and we are broadcasting live once again. This time without Cody, who'll be quite asleep after taking part in a 12-hour Bathurst race. As somebody who's drenched in sweat after 30 minutes on Bathurst, I cannot fathom doing an endurance stint there. And we're also sending good wishes to Ike, who may or may not become champion in his Sunday series today. Back to the ASRC. today, 2000 CET, that's 8 p.m. for those not accustomed to the European 24-hour system, they'll be pushing their Indycars to the limit on Cleveland, and we'll be watching and commentating and very possibly biting our nails. After only 10 years of waiting, the iconic front-wheel drive championship car finally comes to iRacing. You've got to admit, with the updates we've been bringing you regarding the BTCC content in R-Factor 2, it's an easy mistake to make. The Clio Cup car dates back to 1991 when it was introduced in the French, Belgian and UK markets, and from there it has grown both in popularity and size. Those familiar with the BTCC will know names such as Andy Priault, Tom Onslow Cole and Jason Plato, who have all driven and mastered these hot hatch staples of the British touring car ladder. And now it's your turn. The newest iteration and the one added to iRacing is the RSV variant with a 100 and 330cc turboed inline-4 paired to a sequential dog-geared gearbox and a ZF front diff. Unfortunately, we don't have iRacing to be able to run our own tests, but leave a comment below once you've tried it and tell us how it feels. Oh, woe is me, the influencers are right, we've plunged down to only 22,000 drivers last month on average. Every day. Horrible! Nobody wants to sim race anymore. While I'm wiping my crocodile's tears, I can tell you that yes, compared to January, February looks very red, as almost all sims saw less engagement than the month before. Still, for most sims, these are better numbers than their best until November last year, and we should note December and January had the overall highest numbers for sim racing we have in our data. And as we found a way to get historic data reaching since 2012, that is saying something. True, Assetto Corsa's 8,000 plus pale in comparison to the almost 9,000 from last month, but are still a healthy jump from November's 7,000. Overall, the numbers are quite good, only not compared to last month or the month before that. And of course, now that it's getting warmer in the northern hemisphere, it's quite possible these numbers will fall further. We'll have to compare to last year's data and we'll report accordingly. But to give you some examples, a year ago we had 6,000 Assetto Corsa drivers against last month's 8,000, and Automobilista 2 is keeping steady with 332 drivers last year against this year's 329, and the overall number of drivers 1 year ago was almost 19,000 against the 22,500 we had last month. As always with statistics, we need more data to see if this may be a trend downwards, but the comparison to last year doesn't give any base for that conclusion. Patrons allow us to ignore any YouTube bullshit and allow us to invest in high-quality sim racing journalism like Sim Racing Expo or buying hard and software without strings attached. Amongst other perks, becoming a patron will fix your name for posterity like this, but you'll also get to know what we plan and what we're doing, so a big thank you to our patrons. If you come here regularly, please consider subscribing. It surely took Reiza longer than we all, including them, had expected, but it's now here. Their March development update with all the changes that are going to come into Automobilista 2 in the soon-to-be-released update, if they haven't released it already, between us recording the news and you watching them. From what Renato Simeoni says in it, it seems they wanted to have more features ready than they are delivering, but they recognize they will need more time for those, so they deprioritized them and will release this update without them. And we have a suspicion it has to do with multiplayer. In the soon-to-be-released release, they got hold of the issues the sim had with Snetterton and Imola 2001, which either disappeared or were all grass or, well, different visual issues overall on those two tracks. The AI's pit decisions have been made more intelligent, and in the world of custom championships you can now add up to 5 of them. With regards to multiplayer, we'll soon, but not yet, be seeing changes like support for auto advanced sessions, the possibility to join only a spectator, which will come in handy for the next season of the AMS2CC, or expanding the time window for clients to join or rejoin sessions. Where they are having trouble is in finding the reliability issues some drivers running multiplayer races only know too well. After working for a long time on the code, it may very well be that they'll end up redoing big parts of it, if not all. They not only will continue working on it, it's, as they had already said, one of their biggest priorities for this year. Moving on to the content, at last, Bathurst 1983 has been released. No big changes between 1983 and now, other than the Conrod Strait being longer, but driving the mountain with none of the big barriers makes it somehow grittier to drive, more scary. One track they have not ready for release yet is Nürburgring 1971, which when released will not only have the infamous Nordschleife, but also the lesser known Südschleife, thus giving you a lot of track for your money. The Südschleife was added after Reiza got hold of LiDAR data for it, and Reiza being Reiza, they just had to add it to the sim. Yet again, we're getting a free car series for Automobilista 2, the Formula Inter, an intermediate Brazilian open-wheeler series for those promising drivers coming out of kart racing. While it started in 2015, it had been dormant the last years but will be coming back in 2023. We don't know if Reiza contacted them or they contacted Reiza, but it's great both came together, as it brings us yet another way to train open-wheeler driving before we seat ourselves in the Formula 1s and Indycars, which Automobilista 2 of course does not have. Never. Ever. Oh, and the Formula Inter will be interesting also because while work on physics continues, they have not released any of it in general yet. Other than maybe, well, if you're doing a new car, you may as well, you know. This is all they are releasing right now. It's clear checking, rechecking and discussing multiplayer has eaten up a lot of time for the developers, and the decision to pull back the code was surely not taken lightly. Your decision about what to watch next is surely very easy. Check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.